What is the most genius way to cheat on an exam you have ever seen? Big J Mix says, best one I've heard of was a guy who was in band got a copy of the test for another class from someone who had the class earlier in the day. It was multiple choice, he transposed all the answers A, B, C, or D into musical notes. When they had to clear their decks before the test, he sat all his stuff on the ground with the sheet music on top. He had it divided into a specific number of notes per measure, so it was easy to find the one he was looking for. Theberge55 says, had a buddy take an online course. Wrote to the company that did the book materials for the course saying he was a professor and wanted to use their materials for the course. They sent him all the answers and such. Brilliant. Kanks130 says, on an online exam, I saw someone take the whole exam without even touching his computer. The mouse was moving and everything. Turns out he set up a remote desktop and had someone take it from home. Lopcario says, for some reason a school had the French test take place on a computer and the browser that was installed was Chrome and Chrome has an auto-translate feature. Audible Nod says, smart kid sits up front. Beneath him is a tile floor. The tile under the front left leg of his desk is answer A. The one to the right of that is B, the one down from A is C, and the one beneath B is D. Smart kid uses his left leg to point to the answer. Now the question numbers. Question 1 is when smart kid coughs, which is synchronized to the class clock. Each minute is a new question answer. After a 20 minutes exam, 20 questions are answered by moving his foot. Fishcake Wood Spy says, a girl I know wrote all the answers on her thigh, then wore tights to the exam. When she stretched the tights she could see the answers but then let it go and cover it up. Steven Sanders 90210 says, this wasn't that genius, but my freshman year of college, I missed an exam and the professor let me take a makeup in his office. I was failing miserably when I noticed his office phone. I called my roommate, had him open my notes and he helped me get all the answers right. Not very genius but ballsy. PM_me_your_voodoo_code says, one class one had, we were given the essay questions in advance so we knew what to study. During the test, we had to write the essays in class in blue books. I would write the essays in different blue books before the test and bring them in blank ones to class. At the end, I'd just switch out the completely filled out ones for the blank ones. It was such a hard class that I still never got a 100% on any of them. Wismer says, first we dumpster dived to get the mimeograph test. Yes, this was the 80s. We had to tape the mimeograph to the dorm window backwards because it's a reversed image. The test was multiple choice, so placed tiny pin holes running the length of the pencil. 1 hole for A, 2 holes for B, etc. It was a lot of work but we actually had to miss a few to make it legit. A Devil S Boy U says, not really cheating, but I heard about a class where the final was so comprehensive the professor told the class it was entirely open book and they could bring in anything for reference they could carry, with the notable exception being a laptop with Wi-Fi. One guy apparently carried in his older brother on his back who was a TA for a higher level class in the same subject. Yeah, he got an A. Name deleted says, the best place to hide things is right in plain sight. We had old desks that had all sorts of wear on them, so I simply wrote what I needed on my desk really lightly with a pencil. You could even erase it with a swipe of your hand if the teacher thought something was up. Liquid Motion says, stole this from the internet. We were allowed one 3x5 note card for the final, so I filled it up in blue ink with tiny writing, then wrote over the top of that in red ink, and brought a clear piece of red and blue plastic with me. Teacher thought it was clever and allowed it. Captain Cook 33 says, I have a full tattoo sleeve on my right arm and both of my hands done. When I had an upcoming test I hadn't studied for, I would write little keywords to make myself remember things inside my tattoos and I'd write them in a similar color to the ink so unless you were looking insanely close you couldn't see them. Also, in high school my buddy and I had a system where he would signal what question he needed help with and then I would hold up 1 to 4 fingers for AD. Jbeko says, chapstick along the side of the Scantron where the red marks get dashed on wrong answers. Chapstick stops the red mark from being printed along the edge and the machine counts the red marks. If _CN_read this SNDHLP says, I used to type my answers into a grid and make the font a size 2 or something. I could fit 50 Spanish translations on the size of a postage stamp more legibly than I could have ever written it. I'd even pass them out to friends.